people? We are back. A2TP podcast, episode 85. We in the building. It's your boy, International Walk.
It's your girl, Tosh, the co-hostess with the mostest.
And we are
the queen with the crown that be down for whatever.
The queen with the crown that be down for whatever.
I thought about that song earlier.
With another episode. We are up to 85.
Whoop, whoop.
Back in the building for another week.
Whoop, whoop.
You guys can catch all our faces in all these episodes on A2TPodcast.com. You can catch it on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Radio Public, TikTok, Breaker, Spotify, and Twitter.
Tweety.
How are you?
I am doing great today. Guys, I just want to let you know, if you saw episode 84, I was not feeling well.
She's going to pass out.
I don't know. Y'all probably don't know. In hindsight, if you go back and see it, you may peep my body language. I got sick, but I held it down because I'm the queen with the crown that be down for whatever. And I held it down for my baby and made sure we got it done. But I had to slip on my little note I'm not feeling good.
I guess the note said I can't hold it down no more.
No.
I gotta go.
No, but today I am feeling great. Mentally, I'm a 9 today. I'm going to say at this very moment. And you know what? That makes me feel good because about an hour ago, I thought to myself, when we do the episode, he's going to ask me how I'm feeling. I'm probably going to be about a 7. But
wow.
Not I'm a worrier about people that I love and stuff that I shouldn't let impact me. It does. But, I shook it off.
What's therapy for? What's the coping tools for? What's the coping mechanism?
That's why I'm a 9 now. Because I went in my toolbox when I was in the shower and I whipped it out and I said, you know what? I'm giving this to God. That's how you give it to God. You give it to God.
Cool. What's your finances?
So I'm a 9. My finances are 9. Have no complaints. God is good. Bills are paid. Savings is nice. I'm grateful. So no complaints there. Work is a 9.
Damn.
I've been feeling great, doing my thing, handling business like I need to, and just doing what I gotta do.
Physicality.
Wah, wah, wah. It's like, no.
I thought she was gonna have. Well, I'm waiting.
I'm gonna say I'm an 8.
I thought she was gonna have 9s across the board.
Nah, I don't want to lie to y'all. I'm not gonna do it just for the numbers.
Damn.
But an 8 is better than earlier.
7.
I didn't feel like an 8. So I'm proud of that. Feeling like an 8. So I feel good. How are you, Daddy?
I'm doing well. I'm doing good. I feel good. I feel better than I thought I would.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good. We pray before every episode, and you can't tell me about my God, but go ahead.
Yeah. Mentally, I would say I'm a 9. I
that's
feel
good.
sharp. I feel good. Finances, I would say I'm an 8.
Okay.
Want to get the finances back to where I'm comfortable. Work is probably an 8.
Okay, that's good.
Got 2 more jobs, 1 town over.
Oh, wow. So you're still in that area.
Yeah.
When do they start?
Probably next week.
Okay.
Physicality, I feel like an 8. Nothing, nothing that's bothering me. Actually, my mouth feels good right now. I feel good.
So 8s across the board.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Really quick, if you don't mind, shout out to our nephew. We have, we always say, we got 20 nieces and nephews. One of our nephews we didn't see him be born, but we seen him day 2 of life. And he just started college. He's a freshman.
Yeah.
So shout out to him. He is at the Delaware Valley University. He is an awesome basketball star. So I don't even know if he watch, but we still are very proud of him. So shout out to him. You see my baby represent.
Shout out to my nephew.
Represent.
Rasheem Derry Jr.
Wow, you giving people full governments out here.
Well, everybody knows his name, but he's a junior. But yeah, shouts out to my nephew. He's in college, and we proud.
Yep.
So, wows and woes.
My wow this week, you know what? I'm just having another week with my amazing husband. Us being both in great health, returning from our travels, and just, being able to pick up where we left off, resume life, no issues, no hassles, just gratitude. That's my wow for this week, just gratitude.
Woes?
Um, I don't have any woes. I will say that I don't have any woes.
I
I'm
take it
just
you didn't think about your woes and woes this week.
well, you know what? Usually I don't try to like think about it, but so much.
Well, I meant
It's, I
today.
mean, like things happen and it's like, so, I mean, yeah, I probably didn't give it much thought because I mean, even sitting here now, like, you know, it's things going on in life, but I just feel like a sense of peace and gratitude.
Yeah.
And again, if you would have asked me an hour ago, I might have had something to complain about, but right now, I'm just grateful. What
Cool.
about you?
Wows is again, I feel better than I thought I would. You know, got my procedure done last week, and I just feel really good. You know,
You look good, too.
smiling, and I knew I would feel good, but I feel even better than I
Wow,
thought.
that's
So
good.
yeah, it's I feel good. A little bit of lingering pain. Can't lie to the people out there. There was some pain involved in it, and there was some lingering pain, but I'm okay. So yeah, it was worth it.
Awesome.
I'm going to talk about
What's your woe? No woes?
no woes.
Okay. Well, I mean, you didn't say
Well, the
that.
woes was lingering pain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There
All
was a
right.
positive and there was a negative. You got to keep up.
Okay,
You try
I'm
to make me
sorry.
think I didn't give no woe when I did. I said there
But
was
you
lingering
didn't.
pain.
You didn't like lead into it saying my woe is. So I thought you were just trying to lump it together. But I got you. Oh, that's what we doing? Is that what we doing? Okay.
Let's talk about men and women for a second. I'm gonna describe a video to you, and this you gotta take my word for what the video was, not unless you saw it. So saw a video early in the week of a guy in a hotel room throwing a girl out because obviously he had flew her out. This was the extent of the video. Flew you out here to be with me. I guess the guy has an expectation of, you know, a little bit of touchy-feely. Girl was there for 2 days, did not want to be touched. Guy ended up spending about $5,000 on her. Changed her flight because she wouldn't fly on Spirit, so he put her on Delta to fly out. He said that was like $1,000 at the last minute. Flew out, said he was going to a restaurant. She said, I only eat the best. She wanted some crab legs and lobster. Took her to get crab legs and lobster. Came back to the hotel for the second or third time, tried to touch her. I don't feel like being touched. He kicked her out. So my question is, what's the expectation with men and women, period? But in a situation like that, if you're flown out to a place, and I know you can have an expectation all you want. Like I can have an expectation. You don't have to have sex with me. But in situations like that, where you got women going to men's hotel rooms at 2:30 in the morning and all of a sudden not expecting sex, or being flown out somewhere to wherever, a different state. He said halfway across the country, so I just assume New York to LA or Philadelphia to LA.
That's all the way across the country.
All the way across the state. So I just assume that. But what's the expectation? Single, everybody's single. You know, we all adults here. But what's the expectation in a situation like that?
So, I mean, you kind of said it. I don't think there should be an expectation. However, we know that in this day and age, in this society, men do have an expectation. So what I would suggest...
Is that wrong, though?
I think it is wrong in the sense that, like, you ain't, you know, this ain't an escort. So you flew her out because you wanted to wine her and dine her. Maybe she didn't like you once you wined her and dined her. So she's not obligated to reciprocate, you know, your wining and dining with some coochie.
Right.
Like, she's not obligated to do that. So it could have been a situation where it could have been a couple of different situations. She could have just been using you. But
right.
I would think most women... Now, I don't know if, like you said, he spent like $5,000 on. I don't know if it was like shopping or that kind of stuff.
That's what he said. The hotel room, the flights, the food, the shopping, all that stuff. And to throw a caveat in there, what if they had history? Like, what if we had sex before and you know the expectation? Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's expectation of a man to be like, well, I expect to have some sex. I don't think that's a problem. And now you don't have to sleep with me. But at the same time, maybe we got history and we slept together before, and I'm just like, yo, you free this weekend? I'm gonna fly you out, but your head is on some. Oh, I'm gonna see how much I can get him to spend on me.
Possibly.
And it's like, yo, like, you know what the situation is. We had sex before. I'm flying you out to spend a weekend with me in a hotel. Like, what do you think? I want to play pinochle?
Well, but at the same time, that's your fault for. Is your fault, you meaning the man, for having expectations and thinking that just because you have expectations, she is going to live up to those expectations.
Okay.
Just because y'all had sex before, maybe y'all had a date here, spent some time together, but maybe now in this extended time together, she may have realized, I don't like you. Or your sex might have been corny before and she don't want to give you any again.
Well, why would you pack a bag and fly across the state to go be with somebody whose sex is bad?
Well, I'm just throwing that out there. So you're right, but maybe they did. So yeah, maybe let's say that wasn't the scenario, but maybe she packed the bag thinking, okay, this is a good opportunity to spend some time with her. You could have been out there acting corny or acting all braggadocious with your money. She could have just realized like, I ain't really feeling you. Or she could have been on a tip of like, I was just here to use you. So as a man, that's the chance you take when you tricking.
So if you're a single girl and you're 30 years old and a friend of yours flies you from Philadelphia to Los Angeles, you don't have it in your head as a woman that this guy might want sex from you?
Yeah, but okay. I don't feel like I'm
No. I'm just saying, you know that he probably, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think there's nothing wrong with him expecting that. But whether you give it to him or whether he gets it is a different story. I'm just saying the whole thing on expectation is wrong. Like, I don't agree with that.
Well, okay, I don't think you're right. Because everybody, no matter what the situation is, you have expectations of an outcome in most situations.
Right.
But you also have to be of the mindset that just because you have that expectation doesn't mean that's going to be the result. Like, I expect her to give me some coochie. I'm hoping she won't give me some coochie. But I know it's a chance she might not. Like, it ain't guaranteed. And thank God, and this is why I stress the women, be careful of these situations that you put yourself in, because what if like he got aggressive and he like, I'm taking it. Now it's a bigger situation.
That's my second point, is a woman to pack a bag, fly herself somewhere, be in a hotel room, and obviously, and I would assume that if you going out there, you probably don't have money or don't have a lot. I mean, I'm just making a speculation. But if you leave, say you go from Philly to Los Angeles and you in LA and you get put out, like, is that a thought in your mind? Like, what am I doing here? Am I leaving this hotel room and I got this suitcase and I don't have nowhere to go? I can't call an Uber. I can't just go to the airport, book a flight and leave. Or like, I have to be adult. Like, I gotta have a credit card to go downstairs, book a room and come back up here and sleep like overnight in case I gotta book a ticket. Like, to go back to where I'm at, or I don't got no family here. Like,
I wouldn't think that. Okay, I hear what you're saying. My assumption, just because he's flying you out, in no way, shape, or form would that make me assume that she doesn't have money. Okay. Putting myself in that situation, if I was single or if you were single, like, okay, if we met on some website or something like that, and you lived in Texas, or I lived in Texas, you lived in LA, you wanted to fly me out to see you, I got my own bread.
I know, but how easy is it for you if I kicked you out of a hotel room for you just to be like, okay, I'm not in this state no more. I don't know anybody in this state. How can I just go to the airport and say I need a ticket without them saying, like, you got to wait half a day, you got to wait a day?
I mean, yeah.
Like, what you gonna do then? Or
the
if you're
chances
not prepared,
of you having, but see that. So again, as women, you need to never be in a situation where you can't take care of yourself. So if that is the situation, one, if you feel uncomfortable, be prepared to say, I'm out. I'm going to get my own room. I'm not going to let you put me out. Or if I feel uncomfortable and my flight is scheduled to go home on Friday and it's Wednesday, I'm going online. And at that moment, I mean, I'm not going to say you shouldn't be picky, but okay, American might not have a flight. Does Spirit, does Frontier, who has the fastest flight that I can get home?
Clearly she don't fly Spirit.
She might not have fly Spirit on his dime, but if you need to get home as fast as possible, you probably going to take whatever flight you can. So I don't. Now, if you got to wait a half a day at the airport, okay, so what? You got your own. So I encourage everyone to allow themselves to be in a situation. Don't take me nowhere where if something happened, I can't get myself home or I can't take care of myself. Like, that makes me think of like a night. I remember being 19, 20 years old and at some points being bad off. And as an adult at 41, and I don't know how old this chick was.
Well, she probably was like late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah,
I would say she was in her 30s the way she sounded. She wasn't a young girl.
I think in any situation, as a woman, as a man, you got to be prepared to take care of yourself no matter what happens, no matter what the situation is. If this man died in the hotel, y'all having sex, and your flight information is in his phone and you don't have access to it, I need you to be able to buy your own flight home because he did. Like, whatever the situation is, you need to be able to take care of yourself in the unfortunate situation that something happens and your arrangements get, canceled, thrown off. But I will say this, like, again, everybody has expectations, and like you said, if we talking, we busting it up, we know what it's hitting for.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, yeah, we know what it's hitting for, but at the same time, it like we could meet online and be talking for, let's say, 2 months or so. You're like, I'm gonna fly you out to see me. I could like you a lot online. In person, the chemistry might not be there. Yeah, so it could be like, dang, I thought I really liked him, but I'm not gonna feel obligated to give you sex just because that's your expectation if I'm not feeling it also. Now, I will also say, and maybe this is 41-year-old Tasha with a different mentality, you need to communicate those kind of things. Like, when y'all talking, like, all right, I'm coming out there, like, don't be trying no funny business. Like, however you want to say it.
Or like a man, like, you're not on your period, are you? Like, I need to know these things up front before you come on the flight. Because the expectation is, I want to hang out and chill with you and go eat, and we're going to go out to the club and do all that shit. But when we come back to the hotel room, I want to be with you.
Okay, so let's play out this scenario. You say that, like, you're not on your period of it. And I might be like, no, but, that don't mean nothing guaranteed. Like, I'm going to set the expectation, let it be known, I'm coming out, we going to chill, but don't have no expectations. No, let me not say that.
I was ready to say, I'm going to have the expectations.
Understand that. So that's what I'm saying.
I understand. As a man, a real man, I understand that. Obviously, but don't tell me I can't have the expectations.
Yeah, you can expect all you want.
All I'm saying, I'm speaking about the scenarios around that situation. And to jump to another thing, like, you putting yourself in a situation where I'm in a hotel room, I just told this guy no, he could get aggressive. Yeah. Like, some guys will rape that girl.
Yeah, that's sad.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you in a situation like that and you just, like, took this money from this guy, or he's giving you this money, and you don't want to be like there's something attached to it, but there kind of is. There kind of is a underlying thing where, okay, you home on Thursday, I fly you out Friday, I take you out shopping, spend $2,000-$3,000, we go eat lavish meals, we go to, wherever you want to go, we riding around, we chilling, we talking, we laughing, we come back to the whole hotel room, you don't want nobody to touch you? Yeah, like, it's just kind of like, okay, what the fuck are we doing? Like,
but so this is my thing too. As a dude, it's like, do you want a prostitute or do you want a woman? Now,
in that case, he should have just bought an escort. He should have just paid $1,000 for an escort and saved $4,000.
It could be a test. I mean, we grown people testing people, but she could really have had a great time and she could be enjoying the time with you. She just might not be ready to give none up. And I understand, as grown people, that's the expectation. We talked about this a couple episodes ago. Spending time together and buying gifts ain't necessarily like a tit for tat, hand for hand exchange. Right. Unless it's clear, like, you buy me this, I give you this. But just because you buy me this doesn't mean I'm obligated to do this.
Does the situation change if we had history, if we slept together before? If I was in your city and we slept together, now I'm flying you to my city a couple months later because you free, so you kind of know that this is why we getting together.
I mean, I don't think it changes anything. Again, I still don't think there's any guarantees, because she could be with you and just realize, like, I ain't feeling him. Now, I will say, as women, you know whether or not you feeling a person much sooner than a whole day of shopping.
Why take his food? Why take his shopping?
That's what I was about to say. So you have to kind of, when y'all out shopping and stuff, now going to dinner or something like that, or you got to eat.
Yeah, everybody gotta eat.
But if he's shopping and he's spending a bag, just ethically myself, I would kind of feel like I don't want to play somebody like that because I know what he's expecting. But so, the fact that we had sex before doesn't mean that, because, okay, let's say we met in a club and I was, whatever, we had sex. And then after that, it was like, damn, I gave him some too fast, but now we're trying to get to know each other. So don't have that be an expectation of, okay, now, bam, we just always gonna get it and every time we get together. Maybe I want to slow down. Maybe that was like a oops and it happened, but that doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to get this. You're guaranteed to get it when I want to give it to you.
I'm not
and
denying
as
that.
women, we do have to be careful, because especially these situations where you really don't know a man, or a man doesn't know a woman. You really don't know a person until you really know him. You think he nice, y'all been shopping, he been whining and dining you, and then you wind up with a black eye and your panties ripped off. That's a scary, thank God I've never been in that situation, but I can imagine that being a scary situation. And as women, you got to be careful.
I wonder if it's a thought, because it seemed like she wasn't fearful of that at all. And as a woman, it's almost like, are you aware that you're in that situation until he punched you in the face? Or are you aware of that situation when you're telling him no, he's saying, get the fuck out, I spent $5,000 on you, I'll help you pack, get your shit and roll, and you like, okay, the situation is getting a little tense. Like, is that a thought in your head, or you just like, fuck you, I ain't got to give you no coochie? Like,
it's almost, and this sounds,
until he knock you upside your head, then it's like, oh shit, I'm in a situation that...
It sounds a little crazy, right? And this is in hindsight, because I don't know what I would feel at that moment. But it's now that he's recording, I don't know whether he was going live. So I would kind of feel like a little bit...
And he had a little bit respect. He blurred her face and said, I'm not even going to say your name, but you got to go.
But so at that point,
I would have kind of Instagram.
But I would have kind of felt like he ain't gonna do nothing to me, because he would be putting himself out there. Like, you recording this whole interaction, that's like calling the cops on yourself.
Right.
So I would kind of that would have given me a little sense of security in thinking that, he might not do nothing, because now if we in the room is locked, like, and it's just
put the phone down.
Or never even picked up a phone, like, and that's enough. That's a different conversation. Like, why do we even know this? I know it's like, but why is a grown man even recording this? Like, what was the point?
Because he felt some type of way. If it was a woman doing some recording of something, nobody
I feel the same. No, I feel the same way as grown people. I understand,
but that's just the way of the world that we live in. And he was probably protecting himself and wanted to say, listen, like, I need you to go. And was he wrong?
Yeah, I definitely think he was wrong. Like, so he put her out?
Yes.
Yeah, unless there was some agreement, it's your fault that you felt like you was guaranteed. If you was,
what if he was told that? What if he
what if
he was led on, like, not necessarily told, I'm going to fuck you, but what if it was all that shit you was talking and it was no, all right, like, ain't nothing guaranteed. It was all that leading up shit because I want some money out you, because I want you to spend the bag on me when I get out there, so I'm leading you on.
I feel like, and again, this is in hindsight, as a man, she in the hotel, you fed her, fine. If you want to take the gifts back, I don't know what he bought her. You want to take the gifts back, fine. Do all that. But at that point, the hotel room is there. I think, and I'm saying this from the outside looking in, I think as a man, that might have been my approach. I probably would definitely take the gifts back. You can't take the meal back. The hotel room is booked. It ain't like you can get your money back anyway. Mm-hmm. So I that might have been my approach in that situation. But as a woman, like, I would, as soon as I felt like the dynamics was changing and you was getting a little aggressive, or you was letting it be known, like, what you mean I can't touch you, it could have been his approach too. Like,
and I think once a woman says no, like, I'm not having sex, I don't think there's any fucking thing you can say or do that's going to say, okay, we're having sex now. Like, in that scenario, like, if you go to touch a woman and she says, I don't want to be touched, or no.
No, there definitely is. I don't think
there's... What can you say if she says no already? Like, so we're not having sex.
This is the thing with a man. you got to understand. She said no. Now, I'm not saying to manipulate her, but if you take the approach like, okay, I understand, we can just chill, watch TV. I just wanted to enjoy your company. I didn't want to make you feel uncomfortable, but I'm just happy being here with you. Let's watch some TV or something. That and a woman might be like, damn, like that could change her mind. But again, I don't know the reason that she said no. She, like you said, she could have just not liked
She just said,
this
I
whole
don't want to
swag.
be touched. That's all the details I had. It was like a 30-second video, and she said, I don't feel... He was like, what you mean? You was here for 2 days. I spent all this money on you, like $5,000, and I go to touch you twice, and both times you don't want to be touched?
And it could have just been his approach to it. Was he being aggressive? Like, get over here, girl. Like, here go these bags. Now give me some coochie. Like, that's nasty and gropey. So it could depend on what his approach was. But just because she said no, I'm not saying force her at all. But it doesn't mean that a woman can't change their mind.
Of course.
What your mannerisms is and how you react after that, you could have woke up and she could have been touching you because you made her feel more comfortable. Like, all right, damn, like we had a good night tonight. We chilled. We watched TV. Maybe we played some cards. We laughed. We thumb wrestled. We talked about our
thumb wrestle.
Like anything. We talked about our dreams. Like we talked about goals that we had. We talked about our childhood. You know what? I ain't give him no coochie, but he turned me on mentally. Like, so that just because she said no doesn't mean that she couldn't have changed her mind.
Right.
But you getting aggressive about it, like maybe not even aggressive physically, but just that whatever he was saying, that right there ain't gonna make her change her mind. Like, would you want to be like, all right, come on, are you gonna even want it at that point?
No, because it'd be like, you might say I raped you or something like that. Nah, I wouldn't want it. But I damn sure would get away from her. Like, I don't know if I would put her out. And again, if I had the expectation of, or been led on to think that I'm going to have sex with you, I fly you out, and you haven't said that you don't want to have sex with me, and you've been leading me on, and we've been talking about sex and what we're going to do to each other, and we get out there and I spend money on you, and we go to eat, and it's like I touch you in a gentle way, not in an aggressive way, and you just like, nah, like that's wrong.
But we don't know what the touch was. He could have stunk.
That's true.
She could have been talking to him online and got in person like, ooh, he stink.
Okay.
Like anything.
Okay. All right, so if men have an expectation of sex, what's the woman's expectation from your perspective in a scenario like that? What's a woman's expectation if a man's expectation is, man, I hope that even if we do go to the movies and go eat and go to the park and play, I hope at the end of the day I get some sex. Like, that's what a man is thinking. But what is a woman thinking?
I think she is wanting, okay, she wants him to make sure that she has a good time. And I'm not going to include shopping because I don't think every woman is thinking, oh, I hope he takes me shopping. Mm-hmm. But you will treat me nice. We will have a nice dinner. The hotel accommodations have to be top notch. You gotta get the level of hotel room that I would get for myself.
Right.
So that's
so
right.
So we're talking 5-star hotel.
Yeah, like I have to feel like, damn, you really put some. Don't fly me out here to stay at your house. Mm-hmm. That's a really bad assumption to make that I'm going to be comfortable with that. I want you to make me feel comfortable. Like, don't just act like you flew out an escort. Make me feel like you want to get to know me. Know how to play the game. Unfortunately, to say it like that, but I mean, hopefully it ain't a game and you really do. But like you said,
there is a game. There's a cat and mouse.
That's why I said, as
women.
you said, at the end of the day, I know as a man you want coochie, but at least let me feel like you don't think it's easy and that like you don't have to work for it. Mm-hmm. Make me feel like you care. Make me laugh. That's my expectation. I want to have a good time. I want to feel like, damn, I don't want to leave him. Or when it's time to go home, I can't wait to come back. So that's what I want to be stimulated mentally and emotionally. That's the things that I'm not just coming out here like, oh, I can't wait to see him and jump his bones, because talking online, well, I mean, I can only assume. I've never online dated or like had a long distance phone relationship with somebody, but I can imagine that's all well and good. But when that real chemistry is going to be when you're in person with somebody. So that's the expectations of a woman, to be made to feel like you care about this experience.
One thing you didn't mention right off the back, what I thought you would mention right off the rip, was when I get there, I want to feel safe. And you didn't mention anything about that. It was just, I want to have a good time. I want you to make me feel nice, but it was like, I want to be safe.
I don't think
like,
a woman goes into the...
Like, I'm coming to another state. I don't know nobody. I barely might know you. Like, make me feel safe. I am walking around the street with you, driving around in this car or Ubers and shit, going to places. I don't know nobody I'm walking past. I don't know nobody in this state.
Yeah, but as a woman, that's not something that I don't think you go into like, ooh, make me feel. I don't even know that I'm going to feel safe with you yet, because we're just like, I'm assuming just meeting in person. Mm-hmm. So for you to make me feel safe, I need to feel safe by myself first. I'm not just automatically putting my security in your hand. And then once we've established that, then it's like, okay, I'm going to trust myself to be safe with you. But I'm looking at this like I'm going on a solo vacation, meeting up with a person, but I'm not going to even embark on that journey unless I feel like I'm going to be safe with you on my own. And then once we together, it's like, okay, I want to see how he moves. But I'm not going to be like, make me feel safe, because then...
No, not
it's kind
asking,
of... but in my mind...
pandering, like, make me feel safe, but you just want to, like, don't be putting me in a car, don't be driving through no gutter blocks, don't be, like, make me feel like, put me in a secure situation.
Yeah, I guess I was just thinking about my own... If it was myself, I don't think I would be even...
Are you coming to get me in a car that's going to make it when we driving?
Again, thinking about myself, I don't think I would have even... My assumption would be we wouldn't even be talking if I had to ask those kind of questions.
Right.
Or if you live that lifestyle where I think you about to take me to the trap house. Like, I ain't coming out there anyway. Like, no.
But you know how that could be, riding from the airport. Like, yeah, I'm going to stop at my man's house real quick.
No, you can drop me off at the hotel.
Like, you don't know.
Because now I'm feeling like it's a setup from the door. Like, you about to go to your man's house, my luggage in the car. I'm about to be trafficked. Like, that's what's going to go through my head. No, you can take me to the hotel.
I'm about to be trafficked.
Yeah, like your man's house. Like, why are you even going to see him? I just flew however many miles to come see you. This should only be about us. I don't want to meet your family yet. I don't want to meet your friends. Like, take me to the hotel. Don't traffic me. Take me somewhere and sell me.
Would there be less toxic masculinity if men got more compliments?
No, I don't think it's compliments. Toxic. I think it would be less toxic masculinity if, as boys, men were made to feel comfortable with their emotions and with being vulnerable and with just allowing them to be a human and not having to be this bravado, like put on this male bravado. So I think compliments, that comes later on in life. I think that comes from childhood, where it's like, you better not cry. Like, moms will beat a boy, say, you better not cry. He just got hit. Why can't he cry?
So that's from a woman's perspective. From a male's perspective, if we were given more compliments, no, I don't think it would help.
No.
I think since a boy, you have to be taught to deal with your emotions and not be afraid to cry and be able to feel your feels. That's what would take away toxic masculinity, or would lessen it. There's just some people out there who are bullies and just feel like they got to be in power of shit. So I don't think it would leave them, but for us damaged kids, like, yeah, we would just need a pat on the back, a hug. It's okay. Excuse me. It's, I love you. It's okay to cry. Like, that whole thing where you're a boy, you don't cry shit. You end up, by the time you 12, 13 years old, you probably should have cried. You probably held in from 5 to 12 years old, because you ain't supposed to cry. You probably held in 1,000 cries. Now just imagine all that anxiety built up in you as a 12-year-old where you were supposed to cry in the last 10 years 1,000 times, but you didn't. Like, it'll fuck you up. And you don't know it at 12, but you don't know it at 25. You don't know it at 35. So
that's a lot of cries.
Yeah.
But just thinking to yourself, if you're taught you better not cry, you better not cry, you better not cry. Now you deal with a situation and just think as people who will cry, those moments where you feel you need to cry, whether you're mad or you're sad. So if you think in those moments you can't cry, what are you going to do? You're going to harm something, harm yourself, harm somebody, punch holes in the wall. Unfortunately, men take it out on their women. We talked about domestic violence. Like that,
Crying
that's where
comes from a place of fear. And when that doesn't come out, it turns to anger.
And you're a man, so I don't want to speak for men, but I'm just saying in terms of, I think, raising young boys, it's not just about teaching them it's okay to cry, but it's the vulnerability that comes with that. Right. It's okay to tell somebody that they hurt your feelings. Mm-hmm. It's okay to tell somebody that you're not comfortable with something. It's okay, for a child to voice their opinion or express themselves about situations, because that is what lets them know, like, okay, somebody cares about how I feel in a situation.
Somebody see you.
It reduces the chances of children being abused because they don't have that mentality of, I don't want to let nobody know that somebody took advantage of me.
You don't feel invisible.
Yeah.
Like you don't have a grown person's voice, but you do have a voice. And when we grew up, it was, if your parents didn't want to hear what you had to say, you got told to shut up.
Right.
Like, shut up and like leave a room, like if they was mad at you. So even if you had something nice to say or good to say, if they didn't want to hear from you, it was shut up. And as a kid, that kind of conditions you to keep shit in, to shut up.
Yeah. That was one of the things, how as kids you're not allowed to curse, or like, so as kids we weren't allowed to call each other like dumb or stupid, and we weren't allowed to tell each other to shut up. That really? Was kind of like in the book.
Could you say be quiet, pipe down? Or was that like this, you're still telling her to shut up?
No, we could say, be quiet.
But it was just a disrespect to shut up.
We couldn't tell each other to shut up.
What if one of y'all said pipe down?
And probably be like, where the hell did you come from? I don't know if I ever told anybody to pipe down. But
that's kind of like disrespect, like shut up.
Yeah,
it's kind of more,
but that's like
person.
Telling you to calm down too, like pipe down. Like
but a grown person is kind of condescending to tell a grown person pipe down.
Yeah,
I'd rather be told shut up.
We couldn't even grown-ups. We couldn't even tell grown-ups shut up, like even in a joking way. Like you play around like shut up, leave me alone. No, that was like you cursed at them. Yeah, shut up. Like nah, you couldn't say shut up.
Yeah, that anybody you call Miss or Mister, you couldn't tell shut up. At all.
Yeah.
Has toxic masculinity ruined men?
I think
you have girlfriends. You hear about. You've been on lockdown on the shelf for 20-something years, so you don't really know these streets, but you have friends.
I know that. I've been outside.
Yeah, okay.
I'm outside.
You don't know these streets, but you have friends. You have family. Is toxic masculinity ruin men?
I don't want to. Ruin implies that it's irreparable.
Put whatever.
So I do think that right? It has. I think
adjective, right?
Ruin.
Yeah.
A verb.
Yeah. We'll put whatever verb you want there.
If they're ruined, then that's an adjective. But has it ruined men? That's a verb. I think that, and the only reason why I like kind of changed it, because like I said, if you say they're ruined, it almost implies that they can't be fixed. And right. I think that there is some hope. I think there are generations that have been impacted greatly by toxic masculinity. And that, I would say probably like our parents' age, that generation, they probably are ruined.
I was going to say, you don't think nobody's ruined?
Yeah, at this point, they are who they are. And I think, of course, we're not.
You got hope for a 60-year-old, huh?
We can never speak about all. So I know somebody might say, well, my dad or my this, whatever. So, of course, not all. But I think a majority of that population, I would say 50 and up, they 50, 25 and up, they kind of set in their ways. So unfortunately, they probably aren't going to change much. You're not going to be able to talk that generation into sitting down and explaining something to their wives, or, feeling like, oh, they had a bad day, and just laying on their wife's shoulder and crying if they need to, or just feeling like, you know what, I just need a hug and I just need to cry, but I don't want to talk. Like, you're not going to talk them into that. They're going to feel like, you trying to make me some wussy boy out here? Right. Like, so I think that generation, it's a done deal. And, hopefully whomever has to deal with
for that, like a MAMP, a month, what is it called? They call a man like I forget. Yeah. I can't think of the word, but it's a word that they have.
Yeah, but I think now your generation, so I'm going to say like between that 30 to 50 age range, I think a large portion of you guys were impacted by toxic masculinity. But one of the few good things that I think comes from social media, is
I don't think a 30-year-old is my generation, though, babe.
Your generation is
totally
younger.
Different from
yes, me. I agree. But I'm just saying, I look at it like you're really grown at 30. Mm-hmm. Like your 20s is just your 20s, no disrespect. But I think the grown-up men from 30 to 50, you're right, that is younger than you. But I think that's like actually two generations.
Yeah,
maybe
I was
like
going to say, a 30-year-old and a 45-year-old, that's two different people.
That could be a child. Yeah. But I'm saying that to say, I think that age range was really negatively impacted, but I do see hope for them. Mm-hmm. Like they, hearing about mental health, seeing the taboo being removed. And the reason why I'm not saying they have mental health issues, but just dealing with emotions. I'll say emotional health. I don't want to say mental health, but being able to better deal with your emotional health, more emotional intelligence. Why would you steal my words out of my brain?
Because I knew where you were going with it. So it was just I know how a man feels, and having more emotional intelligence is what was,
I think that is saving, that group of men, because it's letting them know it's okay.
And breaking down the barrier of being vulnerable. That's the biggest thing. Like we were, all that don't cry, all that be tough, all that don't show emotion, is all in a bowl of vulnerability. Like, you just can't be, it's almost like you can't be yourself, because when I feel angry, I'm not supposed to show it. When I feel sad, I'm not supposed to show it. And you walk around with this facade that, wow, and it's like a wow moment. That facade is toxic masculinity, because you're walking around, you're being something in moments that you're not. You're not being yourself. You go home and cry then when you should have released that days ago or weeks ago.
And I know, being in situations, how difficult it is to put on a facade, and in the inside you are completely uncomfortable with that. And I'm talking about isolated situations. Like, I'll tell y'all, this is a little bit funny, but not really. I never really dealt with anxiety issues. A few weeks ago, we decided to go skating. Now, where we had went previously, and on this night, it was like adult R&B night. So it was a real, like, smooth flow, skating along, it was like a grown-up crowd. So we decided to go again, and it's adult night, but it's not R&B. So now this adult crowd, instead of being like 25 and up or like 30 and up, it's like 18 and up. And it's hip hop, it's fast. I was so uncomfortable and overwhelmed, because I think maybe if I was going into it with that expectation, I would have felt better, but I was completely thrown off. The music was too fast. The skaters was too fast. It completely threw me off. And it really bothered me, like we had to leave. I only said it to say that was one isolated situation. I can't imagine being a man. Now, imagine if I didn't tell him and I held it in and just kept skating. Like, I might have, like, passed out in there just from, like, just being uncomfortable. Like, I'm not a person that wants to be. He knows if I'm anywhere and I don't want to be there, I'm ready to go. I don't want to be here. Like, so imagine being a man walking around, and you constantly have to be somewhere you don't want to be, or hold something in that you don't want to hold in, or not say something that you feel, or it. So I can't imagine having to hold that in all the time. And like you get in the bad, and and I don't want to speak again for men, but it's probably to the point where even when you get by yourself, you're still holding them, because it's like, suck it up, you better not cry.
Yeah, because you don't want to just fall apart, which that's what you feel like doing. But you're walking around as a man with this facade on, because to other men, you want to be like, okay, I can handle myself and take care of myself. So that's a facade. Like, it's a shield that you're wearing. And with your female, like, you don't want to show emotions. You want to show her you strong. You was taught not to cry. Like, all that shit is a ticking time bomb inside you, just waiting to go off. And yeah, it's bad. Like, under them circumstances, like, you can just like pop. You can just pop, because you want to cry sometime, you can't, or you've been told you're a pussy. You know what I mean? Like, there's some guys out there who dads called them pussies at 10 years old, where it's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that? Like, at 10 years old, I'm a pussy because I'm crying because I scuffed my knee up. Like, I can't cry. Like, and then that's when you're taught that. And then you take that into your adulthood. You can't feel vulnerable in no situation. So I can't imagine not feeling vulnerable in any part of your life.
Right.
In any part.
I would say even if it's only your home that's your safe space, I think everybody needs that, because even as women, and not to like say, oh well, we go through it too, but it's in a different way. Like, especially as Black women in corporate America, it's almost like white women will get away with stuff that if we do or act in that same way, then we're labeled as bitches. Oh, she's a bitch. Oh, she's cranky. She's moody, or she has an attitude. And we and me, anybody who's ever worked with me know I'm not going to allow anybody to talk to me any kind of way or to feel uncomfortable. But we do have to make sure I think we have to edit our words, or kind of, like you write a paper and you go back and edit to make sure that you getting your point across, but it's professional, so that it's not mistaken to be bitchy, or like the angry, you're not labeled as the angry Black woman. And I don't think white women go through that.
But I also agree with that's a stigma behind that. But just the two races alone, Black women are more aggressive than white women. So I agree with you saying, like, you should.
But are we aggressive or more passionate?
You guys can call it passion. It's semantics for me.
Or are we aggressive or assertive? Because I think aggression has the connotation of almost being.
No, you guys are aggressive. Like, you're demonstrative. So that's what I'm saying. Like, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with aggression. I'm not saying it in a negative way, like some people might think. But you are more aggressive in nature than white women. Like, they're more like deer and timid and shit like that, where Black women are like lions. Like, you guys aren't scared, and you don't have a problem being aggressive, probably because you had to. And I'm not disputing that, but you are more aggressive as a race, and not in a negative way at all. Just compared to a white woman and a Black woman, nah, there's not even an argument.
I can take that, and I think that's probably, like you said, we've had to be stronger.
Yeah.
We've had to fight more, and in some situations to get our point across. Our voices are louder. And I think part of it does come from passion. Part of it does come from wanting to, put our foot down and
be heard.
And right, I was gonna say put our stamp in our stamp in the sand, or whatever you want to call it. Our flag in the sand. Okay. So with that being said, we need to still then have our safe space, of being able to, after work, have those conversations. So that's what I'm saying. It's not, I know how that feels in that small spectrum of life for being a professional Black woman in corporate America. So again, you guys, us being in this small spectrum, and you guys having that as part of your world, I can imagine that being extremely overbearing.
You can tell those men too, because it'll show up later in your adult life. If you just took a poll, I can imagine if you took a poll of men who had babies and didn't cry, or was watching their son graduate and didn't cry, like, because you were conditioned not to cry. And those are moments in your life where you should be boo-hooing, but You just keeping it tight.
And you know,
keeping it tight, and you think you keeping it G, and it's like, nah, my baby being born like this, I feel emotional.
I'm okay
I should cry, but at 10 years old, I was called a pussy. I better not cry.
And it's crazy because you've always, I know my husband, when it comes to women crying, if it's a commercial, it could be the commercial when a lady says, help, I've fallen and I can't get up.
It won't be that. No, but I can watch a Law and Order or a Chicago PD, and if it's a woman in distress, yes, I can.
And that's TV, so let it be a woman in real life.
Yeah, I can be
like
super
on the
emotional.
news or something. Like, he is extremely compassionate. But I say that to say I feel the same when I see a man crying about something, like whether it's
said that,
it's a man crying pulls at my heart. Yes, pulls at my heart, because I know that's not easy for them to do, to show that emotion, whether they're sad, mad, happy. Just to see a man crying is like, oh, it just pulls at my heartstrings. It really, really does. One of the things you asked were men ruined by toxic masculinity, and I was saying 30 to 50, I think there's some hope. I think what we face with the younger under 30 crowd is a different dynamic of being
that's a whole different
desensitized and being traumatized.
And then
because I don't think they're afraid to cry, but I think they're so desensitized, like things that probably should make them cry don't.
Part of them, but I was going to say I would go with, I think they cry too much. I think they're really, really soft, that generation. But they're really, really soft. And it's a fine line of being tapped into your emotions and living through your emotions. And I think younger kids
let me think about that. You said being tapped in and living through. Okay.
Yeah, wherever. I mean, it's the generation now where if you don't, their boss don't say good morning to them, they're affected by it. Because they didn't come up the way that we did, where we can kind of brush some shit off. They don't brush anything off. Mm-hmm. But I do acknowledge that part of kids, like you said, who
they're desensitized. Yeah, they got friends being killed every 6 months, and it's like me. I can't imagine losing one friend. I would be devastated, and it's like to them. It's
somebody on the interview say before they were 17, they had 14 friends killed in Brooklyn back in the 90s.
I probably would have been a hermit. I probably wouldn't have wanted to be anybody's friend for fear of losing them. What the hell?
That's a real thing for us black men of making it to 18, of making it to 25. It's not only my story and how I felt about it, but I come to realize as I get older, it's a lot of people's story. It's a lot of people's story who was happy when they made it to 18. And also not afraid to share that I didn't think past 25. Yeah. I didn't think what life would be like at 30, because who knew I would make it to 25? It's just a scary thing. What's your version of a man to date if you were single? I'm sure you're going to describe me, but
Well, I mean,
what would he have to be doing? What would he have to have? What would he have to make? Could he be black? Could he be white? Could he be Chinese? Could he be Panamanian?
I don't feel...
Might like a Caribbean fella.
I don't feel like, I mean, okay, so let's get the...
Has to have a job.
Yeah, and if there's no specific career, kids is subjective. It would depend on ages.
So what if I got young kids?
Because
over 5 or under 5?
That's still young. I'm thinking over 20, over 18 or under 18, because it would depend on.
All right, let's say a base age of 10.
So that matters, because do I feel like being a stepmom?
Okay.
Because if this relationship progresses, I'm going to be a part of this child's life, and I don't think it would be fair for me to go into it.
Would that be a deal breaker that you had? He was a nice man, you really liked him, but he had a 10-year-old? Would it be like, I'm not ready to be a stepmom, so I can't move forward with this relationship, or I'm gonna look past that because he's really a nice guy?
It really would be circumstantial. Okay, so if we're talking about today, Natasha, 41, if I was single, I don't think I want to be a stepmom.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I want to. I don't think I want that part of my life. And this might sound selfish. I don't want him. If we're going to build a relationship, I don't want him to have like to work like, oh, every other weekend I got my kids, so like, you know, we can go away this weekend, but
I respect the honesty.
Yeah, we can go away this weekend, but we can't go away this weekend or this vacation. We got to take the kids. I love the kids. I love the kids that are a part of my life, whether it's from whomever. But I don't want my life.
You were saying it as a slogan, like I love the kids.
No. I love the kids. I don't want my life to be limited by kids at this age. So if he got 18 and up, and then, I mean, now of course I would still, if he was a father, he absolutely has to have a relationship. Like he can't be no deadbeat. That just wouldn't be allowed.
All right, we got kids established. Okay. What else?
As far as
job,
career,
job?
He can have it. He can have it. He has to have a stable income. Let me just say, you can't be out here 41 like, oh, you know, I'm trying, this record deal coming through, you know, I'll be going laying bars at the studio at night just waiting for the call.
Senior manager at Arby's.
Okay, he has to have a stable income and be able to sustain my lifestyle if we're going to have a lifestyle together.
So that's the way of saying no.
No. I don't know how much you see.
I was trying to show your closet on the fucking camera.
I don't know how much the senior manager at Arby's makes.
Boy, like my man Tony Soprano said, you act like butter wouldn't melt in your mouth.
He could have been senior manager at Arby's for 17 years and be making bread. Then guess what? Where's the beef, baby?
Bring that pink meat.
So I'm not going to shade any career. And I'm not saying, oh, you got to make this amount of money. But our lifestyles have to be not equal, but they have to be within the ballpark of one another. Okay. I'll say that. They have to be in the ballpark. Okay. Like, because again, if this relationship is going to progress, then baby, you got some bills to be paying. You know, if the relationship is going to progress and we talk about buying a home, what's your credit looking like?
I probably can put something on it.
You need to put something on it and be able to sustain. So that's all. No, I don't care what your career is. Just have a stable career, especially as a certain age. Now, people go through things.
Car. We're going on and on.
You know, I don't care about a car.
Okay, like, you don't have to have a car.
No, he has to have reliable transportation.
Own home. Apartment, like you have to own a home. Can he be in an apartment? Can he be in a condo? Like, what's the situation?
He doesn't have to own a home. He does have to have a stable living situation. Like, and you know what?
A furnished house.
Yeah, some things are circumstantial. You know, if your mom, you know, you're taking care of your mom because she lives with you. So I don't know. I don't want to just say certain things are completely out of the question, but you need to have stability. That's the common thread. There has to be some stability in your life.
Criminal record.
It depends. I mean, if you any kind of sex crimes, kids crimes, absolutely not. I don't even want to hear your story. And I know there are some people that got a bad rap out here and the story ain't what the record says. I ain't even taking the time to investigate and have to determine if I believe you or not. And I am checking your criminal record. So if I see that, I don't even want to know your story. God bless you. If you were like a murderer and I'm joking. No, I'm not joking. It does depend. Like if somebody did something to your child and you killed them, I'm not going to be like, oh, I can't be with you. Now, if I felt like you still out here killing people, then of course not. You can't currently be involved in any criminalistic endeavors. I have no time to go to jail. I have no time for jail.
Drug usage.
You can smoke a little weed. That is it. You cannot smoke cigarettes.
What if he was on pharmaceutical meds like Zoloft or something like that? Antidepressant.
I'll probably talk to my therapist about it because I'm not really familiar with that lifestyle. And because I don't want to be.
He was on a Paxil or some shit.
I don't want to just be disrespectful. I would be happy that he's taking care of his mental health, but am I putting myself in danger? And we laughing, but I'm being dead serious. Like You know, I don't want to have to monitor him if he misses a medication. Will I wake up in pieces? Like, I don't know. I would probably seriously talk to my
I
therapist.
want to show you a video when I'm done, when we're done here too, when we talk about that. Like, if you're going to wake up in pieces. Okay, my version of a woman would have to be.
But wait, and let me just say this too. He can be divorced. You know, he has to be a Christian, or, and I ain't talking about like a Bible thumper in church every Sunday, but you know, we got to be on the same.
So that was my number one, is she has to be God fearing. That's number one. Have to believe in God. Have to be Christian. You didn't say a color. Race.
I would prefer that he's black. No, he has to be of black skin. Now, he could be from Nigeria. He could be from Philadelphia. He could be from Haiti. But me personally, I want a black husband.
Okay. So I would prefer a black woman. I would, has to be working, has to have a close to a 6-figure job. And that's just in my head. I wouldn't be like, you got to have a 6-figure job. She would.
But wait, so what if she doesn't, but she maintains her lifestyle with the income that she has? Like, she's not living above her means. She's living within her means. She's holding it down. She got a nice little apartment, a simple little car. She's taking care of everything she needs to take care of within her budget, but she makes $45,000 a year.
Yeah, see, there's levels to this.
Okay,
so,
all right, that's fair.
I want to be, equal on my own level. So yeah, there's levels to it. So I would prefer that. I would prefer she's black. I would prefer she had long hair. I would prefer.
Can it be a weave?
No, no weave. I would prefer she didn't have young kids, and young kids meaning over 15.
So you mean under 15?
Under 15.
Okay.
So any kids under 15, I would consider young. Divorced, I don't think I would mind that.
What if she was a widow?
Widow, I would definitely mind that, because there's obviously some hurt there that you're going to have to deal with, because, we're all grown and people have passed, and she didn't live under a rock, and she had a husband who died. Like, that's some shit to live with for the rest of her life. So, I wouldn't want her to be a widow.
Yeah.
But divorce, okay, we can work with that. Drug usage, no. No drinking, no smoking.
She couldn't smoke weed?
No.
Wow.
No.
Look at that. The pot calling the kettle black.
Call
Ain't
it
that
what you
something?
want. I'm just telling you
Okay.
my opinion and what I would
with
prefer.
you.
What else did we talk about? Drug usage. What else?
What if she had what about her body parts?
Body parts, no fake body parts. No fake butt, no fake. You can have fake nails. That's okay.
No, body parts like butt, lips, boobs.
Butt, lips, boobs. I'm not into any of that kind of stuff. So I don't want no perfect giant ass. I don't need no hard bounce a quarter off titties. I don't need no, lips like that.
So you want her to be black. You want her to have long hair. You want her not to have any kids or young kids. You want her to have, relatively great paying job.
Why are we saying this with some type of sass? Like,
no, so basically you just want me.
Oh, I might know where you was going with this. I'm about to say, when a woman describes something they want, it's cool, but when the man describes
I was just saying,
was
like,
it too much?
You're describing me?
Maybe in hindsight I am. Moving on. What have you learned?
But wait, really quickly, let me tell you this. So when there was a post that I saw, I think Lil Duval posted it. He is hilarious to me, where he said a lady had posted something about her high school sweetheart who had died, and was like, he was the best love I ever had in my life, but she's married. Like, so how you posting about this best love you ever had, and now you're married? And then somebody in the comments was saying they knew of a woman who every year, I think her previous boyfriend or maybe husband died, and like every year they post like a dedication to that person, and they are married. So how would you feel about that?
Like, fucked up dude. Like, to be honest, if I'm being honest, like, I ain't trying to be going in a relationship, you posting shit or talking about and crying and shit every year. Like, that's why I wouldn't be a part of that. So that would be my attitude. Sorry if, it's offensive, but it's my show, it's my opinion. What have you learned?
I have learned that, did you know if you get bit by a mosquito in certain countries, you could get the Zika virus?
Yeah. And known that since I was a little boy.
Well, and with the Zika virus, it is extremely dangerous to pregnant women or women who may become pregnant in the future.
Yes.
They could have babies with, I think it's Guillain-Barré syndrome.
Yeah.
Which can cause encephalitis. That was very eye-opening. I think I probably
I'm very glad that you read up on this, but I can remember stuff like this in like 93, 94.
And maybe I did too, but when I wasn't feeling good last week, I was doing a lot of Google diagnosis, and I didn't know what the hell was wrong with me. And we had so many mosquito bites. I really thought, like, I didn't know what happened to me.
Yeah.
But so maybe that's why it like hit home, me like reading all this stuff. But it was really an eye-opener.
We had like delayed reactions to mosquito bites.
Yeah, like mosquito bites from 7 days ago, and now our legs are like itching ridiculously. Yeah. But it just made me think of more preparation, like, and moving forward when we go to these places, the kinds of the bug repellent that we're going to put on our skin and use. So yeah. That was something I learned.
It's a fine line with that though, because you can put some strong shit on your skin that can hurt you.
Yeah, that's true.
What I learned is what I said before, probably on 10 episodes ago. Probably not 10, probably 5. But Nick Cannon got baby making problems. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's healthy. But you can have a baby making problem.
What do you think? I know you said you don't know what it is, but
I don't know what it is, but you can have baby making problems, and he has a baby making problem. I don't care how much money you have. I've never known anybody to have this many kids in 1 year or in a 2-year span.
Me either.
What's this like?
Well, all of his kids are under 10.
And this is the third one by this girl.
But isn't this like baby number 9?
I think 10, because one passed away.
Under 10, like that's you know what's also crazy?
And like 5 of them came in 2 years.
You know what's crazy? These women that he's not. I don't know if he's considered polyamorous, because I don't know if he's in a relationship with these women, or if they just have like agreeable terms to, they kind of, when he come visit the kids, they have sex, and oops, you might get pregnant. And then when he go visit this kid with this mom, oops, she might get pregnant. Oh, he got a new girlfriend, oops, she might get pregnant. But now I can come back to this baby mom and visit. So I don't know if that's the terms where there's some polyamory going on, or they're just openly and willingly just having sex like all the time. Because it's just like you said, 3 babies this is the 3rd baby by this girl. But how you have a baby and a baby, then you go over here, have a baby and a baby, you come back here, have a baby, you go over here, have a baby, then you go here, have a baby, and then back to that one. Like,
that's
what
a baby making
hell?
problem, and I don't think that's healthy. I think we should pay. Well, I don't think we should pay more attention, but
you think somebody should pay
more attention to it. It's not healthy. It can't be. I don't give a shit if I got $1 billion. I'm not having 5, 6 kids in 2 years.
Yeah, it's a lot. So wait, we did ask a couple poll questions. Do you want to look at the answers for those?
Sure.
All right. Thank y'all for y'all participation. So let's go back. So some of these questions were based on our travels and our experience. So we did talk to y'all last week about, our desire to travel. So the first question was, you got $10,000 for free. Pick one. You either have a $10,000 shopping spree or vacation. So we had 12% say shopping spree, 86% vacation. I'm with y'all on the vacation. I could buy my own clothes. I don't even know what $10,000 worth of stuff I would want at one time, unless it was like a couple really expensive bags or one really nice bag. But why would I do that? A trip, me please. So you say a trip too?
Yes, definitely a trip.
86% vacation.
I would go on 3 trips with 10 grand.
Ya tú sabes? That means you already know. So, do you speak any other language other than English? That was the question. Do you speak any other language other than English? 14% said yes. 86% said no. Which is not a surprise. I mean, I don't know a lot of bilingual people unless they are Spanish.
I'm gonna get myself in that 14% because I envy the people who can speak another language like that. Like,
even if it's just a little bit, like, it helps.
It definitely helps.
My little bit of Spanish helped, y'all. I'm telling y'all. Cosmetic surgery. Are you for it or against it? So the questions was, a little nip and tuck ain't never hurt nobody. 14% said went with that. I'm perfectly fine with what God created. 86%. Guess what? I'm gonna tell y'all this. I do agree. A little nip and tuck ain't never hurt nobody.
Yes, it has. Killed Kanye's mom.
Well, it did. That is true. But what I'm saying is, I don't necessarily think cosmetic surgery is a bad thing as a whole. I think the problem is people go crazy with it and try to just build try to have a body.
How can you say that? Cosmetic surgery as a whole, I'm going to use your words. Cosmetic surgery as a whole, a quote from you. So you don't find nothing wrong with putting shit in your face, making it stay still. Botox, lips, nose, fucking with your nose, cheeks up here, face pulled back like that. Cosmetic surgery as a whole. Fucking tits up to here. Tits hard as hell. Tits way too big. Nipples misdirection. Like, there's shit
I'm not
wrong
saying
with
that
cosmetic
I
surgery.
agree with all cosmetic surgery.
You said as a whole. Like,
I'm saying there are some procedures that I don't see. If you're a mom, you done had 4 kids, you took care of your kids, they all grown now, and you like, you know what? I want to get my groove back with my husband. Just get a little nip and tuck here just to, flatten out my belly. I don't knock a woman for wanting. Now, I'm not saying this for me, but I don't knock a woman for wanting to do that.
I'm not going to knock a woman. I think you should just be happy with yourself, and I think that you should never go under propofol voluntarily. Period. I don't think you should ever in your life play with your life like that and put yourself to sleep voluntarily under no circumstances. God forbid whatever health issues you have in your lifespan that put you in the hospital where you got to be put to sleep, but to do that shit voluntarily for some vanity issues, nah. That's just one of them rules you should have as I think, my personal opinion, just live by.
Okay, all right. And guess what? 86% of people agree with you. Which celebrity would play you in your life story? What would you say?
In my life story, I would think, I don't know what celebrity would play me in my life story.
I got somebody for you. He's not necessarily a celebrity in the sense of being an actor, but if he was trained, Malcolm Jenkins could play you.
No. Fucking Malcolm Jenkins can play me. He's a fucking boy compared to me.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. I got to think about that. That's right on the spot. No, I don't think of no celebrities. I mean, it's me. Nobody can be me. So, yeah, nobody could play me. Think about it. What actor would play me?
I think, here's another one. Now, of course,
you say Idris, I swear to God, I'm going to walk the fuck away. Fuck out of here. That's bullshit.
I was not going to say Idrisi. I was going to say, just if he put a beard on, had a nice wig, have locks like yours, Omari Hardwick.
Omari Hardwick, I will give you that. Weebay.
No. Definitely not Weebay. If y'all watch The Wire, y'all know who Weebay is. I think Hassan Johnson is his name.
Yeah.
And he's from Philly, right?
Yeah.
But I think Omari Hardwick could play you, rough him up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For me, it would be my girl Jilly from Philly.
Yeah, Jill Scott.
I think Jill Scott
definitely
will play me in a movie.
Yeah.
Let's see. So some of the responses we got: Kanye West. I guess we can say his name. Tariq said Kanye West. I know Tariq is a huge Kanye West fan. I don't really see any resemblance there, but I guess the whole style,
we're talking about a movie. We got makeup.
Yeah, that's true. And then Misty, she would play herself. Ain't nobody better to play you than you.
Yeah.
So, yep, I guess that would be the best. So, thanks for y'all participation. We appreciate it. More
Thank
questions coming. And if y'all have some questions for us, send them our way. We have no problem answering. Y'all know we guarantee transparency. That is a slogan. We guarantee transparency.
3 grams. Let's get through these. One, a man was found dead in a hotel in Jaraboka. He was cheating on his wife with some chick. He ate a gas station pill and had a heart attack. He was a cop and died. The cleaners said when they got there to clean his body up, he had rigor mortis and his penis was still hard. He was dead for hours.
You know why I'm looking at you, right?
Why?
You know why I'm looking at you.
I don't even know where the fuck Jaraboka is.
So, not no sex pills. My baby don't need that. He ain't never take none of that kind of crazy stuff. But this fool used to take the vitamin packs from 7-Eleven.
Oh, the cat. Oh yeah. No, that was from the what was the mobile.
Even worse.
No, the BP. It was the BP.
Even worse. I used to say, he's like, oh yeah, these give you, it was like 6-7 pills in a pack, all different kinds.
They made your pee
Stop
orange.
taking that crap.
They made your pee orange.
I don't know what the hell is in that. But wow, so the sad part is that he died, of course. But what a way to get caught cheating. But you can't get in trouble.
I was about to say, but your husband is like wherever far that is away, and he's probably not supposed to be there.
I think that's in Mexico.
And then you get a call that he's dead.
That's pretty sad.
Like, do you go get his body?
Yeah, I mean, because you're not just mad. You're mad, but you're grieving, and you mad because you're grieving. You're grieving because you're mad. Like that, I can't imagine those emotions that go into that. And then you think to yourself, you wouldn't even be dead if you wasn't taking this sex pill to be with this woman. You would be home with me. Like, that's a bag of emotions to carry.
Look at it on the reverse side. You get the call that your wife died in a hotel because, I don't know, she just had a heart attack. Or some dude died on top of her and she's scared to death now. So what she do?
No, she better not tell you.
How'd she get out of that situation?
If she's not dead?
If a motherfucker dies on her in Mexico and they're in a hotel room and police and everybody show up, you gotta tell this motherfucker died on me. How do you keep that a secret from your husband?
I don't know if you're gonna find a way, sis.
How the fuck do you keep that?
God spared you.
He spared you to die later.
God spared you. I mean, I'm sure that would be her, because you're gonna be crying every night. He gonna be like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Somebody died humping on you and you're supposed to keep that a secret.
But what if she did die and then this man gotta call you like, hey, I know your wife and she not here no more. And are you going to collect her body?
No.
What?
Going to get her ass? Nope. Ain't going to get you.
Men are king petty.
Yep.
Okay? King petty.
Nope. Not going to get her. Doctors remove a steel cup from a guy's asshole. That was a prank by his friends while he was asleep.
So
12-ounce steel cup.
Okay, I'm going to assume that they were of the fairer complexion than we are. Because,
yes, this is white people shit.
Yeah, because black people don't play like that. You're not sticking nothing up, especially men. You're not sticking nothing up another man's butt playing, let alone a cup. But you know
Black guys don't play with butts. We don't play with our genitals. We don't teabag. We don't do none of that kind of frat boy hazing type of shit.
Now, this is crazy that you say
we
that.
don't do wet willies.
I'm not
none of that
saying
shit.
that you should, but that's where you talk about that line of toxic masculinity. And though just listen. Even though I agree, all of that stuff should not be done, should not be allowed. White boys will do that kind of stuff, and it's not in any way, shape, or form looked at as being any form of homosexuality, where black men, for the most part, like that is viewed as homosexuality, like you playing around like that. Now I don't agree with it. It shouldn't be done, homosexual or not. You shouldn't be playing, sticking nothing up nobody's butt. That's not a game. Like, what if you rupture his anus?
What?
Like that.
That's what we're worried about?
I'm just saying.
That's what we're worried about.
Yeah, I mean, like,
we shouldn't put this cup up his ass because we might rupture his anus.
You could really hurt somebody.
No, we shouldn't put this cup up his ass because we're men. We don't put cups up men's asses.
That's the obvious, but I'm just
not because we're gonna rupture his ass. Who's thinking that? Who's thinking that? Hey man, nah, the cup too big. We're gonna rupture his anus.
Well, I mean, there was another case. I don't know if you saw that one about the football players.
Yeah, I did see
that was a very bad situation. That's essentially rape. Mm-hmm. Like they raped them, they sodomized the man, sticking a pool cue. That's a pool stick. Yeah. Sticking
like in too deep. Think about it. Think about
it. Sticking a pool cue up his butt. These dummies taped it on and put it on Snapchat, like in a football locker room. Like that is sodomy. You don't play like that. You don't do that to anybody. Yeah. That you don't do that to a woman playing around. Like that's not cool.
Last gram. Doesn't need much to around it, but Jesus Christ, what scenario? There should be no scenario made up in the world that white kids stick cotton in a black kid's hair, like over and over and over again, and nobody get punched in the face. Like, I don't know what the black kid was just sitting there letting this shit happen. And at that point, you're in Little League. Like, you've been around these boys for a long time. You know how to handle yourself. Why are you letting them do that?
And let's just say there was another black boy who was part of putting the cotton in the head. This is one of those things where people have to look at the context of certain activities and say, we shouldn't do this. And this is why there needs to be education about historical events that have happened and how certain things have a specific connotation to it, or some symbolism to it that represents something negative from the past. So we just don't mess with that. Somebody said something about they got fired from a job, but their boss kept making a statement saying this is too cotton picking easy, and they repeated it a couple times, and they let it be known, like, I don't like you using that phrase. And this was at a new job, and a couple weeks later the HR people kind of told them, like, your training didn't go as well, so we're gonna have to let you go. But they felt like it was a direct correlation to them saying that. Mm-hmm. So people just need to be aware. White people, black people, there's just certain things you don't. No, I'm not gonna even say black people.
I was about to say, what the fuck do black people need to be aware of?
There's just certain things that you don't say or do because of the historical symbolism of that. Don't do nothing. Don't throw cotton at me. Like, it's just one of them things that you just don't do. That's like people going to these, plantations in the South to visit. Why are we like Ben and Jen,
or have their wedding there? Like
why are we visiting the slave plantation?
And tell me, when you got a person like Ben and Jen and you invite 200 people or 100 people to your wedding and nobody is like, I'm declining to not go to the plantation. Like, I feel like everybody is okay with that. If you show up at a wedding that's at a plantation, I don't give a fuck how close the friend is to you. I'm not going to no plantation. My brother had a wedding on the plantation. I'm not going. Like, I'm not fucking going, bro. I'm not down with this. I don't give a shit how much we're family. This your decision. I'm not going.
What you think they should do with the land?
What you mean?
Like, it was his great grandfather's house, who owned 600 slaves. So this isn't like there are people who rent plantations, which I think is just ridiculous that's an option. Like, who says, ooh, let's go get married at the plantation? But this is his home, or one of his homes that he owns. So I agree with you. It's not a good idea. But what do you think is a solution that they should do with the land?
I don't know what they should do with the land. I mean, that's getting into a whole nother a reparations conversation. I don't know. I don't know what they should do there. but you shouldn't have weddings and you shouldn't have tours and shit of plantations. And if anybody in my family had a wedding at a plantation, I'm not going. Like, I as a guest, I'm not going. Like, I don't
The fact you think this is like a nice venue.
It's exactly. Like, I'm not going. Like, they used to hang people here. Like, I'm not going there. Like, I don't need that juju in my spirit.
Those souls are still lingering.
That's crazy. That's it. Act 2 the podcast doing a wrap. Episode 85. Your boy International Walt.
Your girl Tosh. The co-host with the most and the queen with the crowd that be down for whatever.
And you can catch her on act2thepodcast.com. You can catch her on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Radio Public, TikTok, Breaker, Spotify, and Twitter. Episode 85, Act 2 the podcast. If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace.